Hey, Ed. Can you see me, Ed? I'm waving at you. How you, darling? Who else is waiting? I think it's just you and me, Ed. Hey, our vlogs. This is Louis P. Floyd.
Hello. Actually, my name is Paul.
How did I? Oh, it's Louis Paul?
Yeah, Louis, Paul, and Floyd is one of my favorite Pink Floyd, one of my favorite bands.
I was at their concert when I was very young.
Yeah. I missed going to Pulse in Syracuse. I went to Syracuse University, and I missed it by 1 year when I graduated from high school and went there. They had gone the year before. Oh man, I got the Rolling Stones the next year though, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I was. If you guys follow me, I will back. Okay, so basically, everyone, I just want you to know that a lot of people still looking for people to support their channels. It's fine for you to do that, but there is no asking for subscriptions on here or subs on here. Okay, but you can do it. You just can't ask for it. You can just say, "Hey, I got you," and then hopefully they'll know. Okay, so oh, hey, oh. Okay, you got timed out by Ed. Our vlogs, don't go away. Just stay. You'll come back in and it'll be okay. I'm sorry.
My grandfather being Pink Floyd.
So was my grandfather, Pink Floyd. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I went to Pink Floyd. I saw them in a concert at the Capitol Center. I think I was only 15, 16. It was right after I saw Led Zeppelin. And I saw Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know if any of y'all remember them.
I'm a child of the 80s, so I know a lot of those bands.
Yeah. I was going in the 70s and the earlier 70s. How did my parents ever let me out the door? I would not have let me out the door. Hey, Brian. Oh, I'm doing good. And like I said, our vlogs, you'll be back. Don't worry. Hey, Jacqueline. This is Louis P. Floyd. We got a lot to talk about. Also, Canadian Drone Network, they just finished eating turkey, baby turkey. And as soon as they clean up, they will be back. They'll be on with us. Saw Pink Floyd May 20th, 1994. Yeah, I think it was 1975 or 76 at the Capitol Center I saw him. Yeah. I don't remember all of the concert. I won't say why.
I think a lot of people stumbled out of the concert that I saw too.
Yeah. We were just, yeah. There's a lot going on at that concert. Look at that ugly mug.
Oh, Ron, you don't. Oh, he done messed up.
He's, you know what?
So my wife gave him that name. So that's from Key and Peele. Do you know that comedy duo?
Yeah.
Substitute. Oh goodness gracious. So, his Aaron, Ron. You should support his channel too because he's a good guy. He likes flying too.
I'm adding a few moderators in here. Hey, Ed, are you cleaning up? Are you cleaning house? I saw you throwing some people out there. Darling, I love you. But give them a chance when they come back to pull it together. And if they do, leave them in because our vlogs is nice, but they just need to know not to ask for subscriptions because on YouTube, I just want to tell you, we are not allowed to do sub for sub. It is against the community policy.
Really? I did not know that.
It is. So if we're saying we sub you, you sub us, that's considered sub for sub. If you tell someone you have subscribed to them and you're going to follow them, that is perfectly legit. If they come back and say, hey, you know what? I like you too. I'm going to follow you. That's legit. Anything else, they can tag
just randomly bam trying to go back and forth. And see, that was one of the cool things that I liked about Roger and Kim's channel, and apparently yours too, is there's always all these Facebook sub for sub things. And you know, okay, great, I get it. But the thing is nobody's content is being observed. Nobody's watching anything. They're just doing it for the numbers. And
right.
if you're just doing it for the numbers, then go do a business model somewhere else. If you're doing it for content and legitimately trying to put out an idea or you know, do something that's got content, you know, that's legitimate, then I get it.
Right,
you know?
right. And that's exactly it. That's exactly it. The one thing, you know, I've kind of noticed on my stream is I can sub to everybody in the world, but they're not necessarily coming back. And
well, I'm gonna say this to you guys too, and I hope I don't break anybody's hearts. I don't sub back everybody who subs me. I do look at their channels. I give them a view, and if it's about guns or something that I'm just not interested, not that I'm against guns or anything like that, it just it's not my thing. I like drones. I don't sub them. You know, which I think is fair, because then that's a fair representation of the people that are on your channel and will enjoy what you're putting out. Because
right.
Otherwise it's just all fluff. So, you know, you can only be honest to yourself. If you like the channel, great. If you like the content, great. If not, then, you know, click the channel.
You know, and my channel, you know, when I started out, I didn't know. I have a lot of channels that were I can't even understand.
But it gets too much too.
Yeah, I didn't understand some of the channels, the language and stuff, but I liked some of the dancing, some of the stuff they were doing, so I went ahead and kept them. But if you're not going to watch, it makes it extremely hard to keep up with everyone. So I'm trying to hit at least everyone's channel at least once a week, because I'm working a lot of hours, but I'm trying to dedicate more time to the people who I have subscribed to, because I think they deserve it. If I have a subscription to them, I should be watching them. Hey, Mike, Kev, Clement, Brown Pants, Eric, Beyond.
Aaron. So I'm also here tonight to connect, to correct his pronunciation. Shout out to my friend Aaron.
Aaron.
Because that's the gist of the skit.
If someone subs your channel and never watches any of your videos, YouTube will automatically unsub them after 3 months.
You know, I've noticed that too, and that's maybe why Roger and Kim keep seeing the numbers are going up and down on some of their subscribers' channels too. That they call them, what do they call them? The Phantom or the Ghost, or no, the YouTube tax.
Yeah, and I always get YouTube tax. The Drum Bum is saying it can be overwhelming sometimes, and I only have 300 subs. Yeah, Drum Bum, it can. Hey, Rulin. So as we're waiting for Canadian Drone Network to come on, they said they had trouble coming on with what I did. So hopefully, link, it will not work. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to try something different. Roger.
You know, and I've noticed I'm on Safari. I wonder if I should be on Chrome, if that might work out better.
I don't know. I know I'm going to send my invite as this one person, and it's Hotmail. I got to remember they're back in the day. Nothing wrong. Okay. See if you get that one, Roger. I don't know why. I know that that will probably work. I wish I don't know why the link isn't working. I truly don't. So I'm going to see if I can come up with something else. Oh, that's odd. That does it too. Loading my Gmail. Oh, I can do it from here too. Roger, I'm sending you so many, you're not going to know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, Roland says Chrome is better for Android and Google, etc.
Yeah.
I might be the one that's mucking it all up here.
Yeah. Here they are.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
here.
you. Oh, there we are. Thank you, love my drones.
Roger.
This is surreal. Hello, Roger. And minus Kim as usual, because it takes him a minute to get off of his own computer to come and see us.
Well, we just finished supper there. He's making the coffees. He's coming up.
Oh, I got coffee in the cup already.
Hope everybody's well.
We are.
Good.
Hey, we've been having an interesting talk about YouTube and Sub for Sub, and the stuff that's, like what we've been doing. And I think we're all kind of in the same consensus that once you have subscribed, and even someone said on here, 300 subscribers, if you subscribe to 300 and 300 subscribe to you, getting through all of that can be quite difficult. Getting through all the, especially Lewis, Paul, you work, right?
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, teachers have a lot of work.
Nah. I just cut my hair and my beard so you don't see all my gray.
But it is great how much work they have, and then to come home and just try to get through all those videos can be daunting, because we got some excellent flyers out there.
Oh, Pilots Major. Yeah, they are such a, and to talk about the FPV community, that's another thing that kind of intrigues me too, is one of the reasons why I got into this is because I was so taken by flight. My wife made the horrible mistake of buying me a Parrot AR drone for Christmas. What was it, Michelle? 3 years ago? 3 years ago. And I started playing around with it, and I said, wow, this is really cool. And it was on my phone, and it was the FPV first-person view. And I'm a young guy where I come from gaming and stuff. I've always been on Atari and Nintendo and all the iterations up and through, been on computer, video games and stuff. And this was great. On my iPhone, I could fly this drone, and I was connected. And then I saw Crash Session. If you all out there that are getting into drones now or are interested in FPV and don't know the video Crash Session from Procket, go look it up. It was one of the things that made me just freak out, and here I am 2 years later still freaking out. It was drones. These French guys had gone into the woods on their lunch break and flew these drones, these quadcopters. And I thought it was a video game at first until I watched it, and it was mesmerizing. It was set to great music. It was choreographed well. It was amazing, and it looked like speeder bikes on Endor going on Star Wars, And I was, wow, what is this? So I found Flight Test after that, because I started like FPV, what is this? And Flight Test is this great community store thing that started, at least for me, several years ago. They were around before I found them, but they were just starting to get into multicopters and rotor, and they were doing the RC stuff. But this other guy helped to build their presence on YouTube, and that was Chad Capper. And Chad Capper helped Flight Test get going. Now, me as a young FPV pilot, seeing Flight Test and learning about building and doing all this crazy stuff, I went headlong into it. And you put goggles on your head and you fly a drone. What is this? And you build it. And so that was pretty much it for me. I got into it. I built my first Versacopter, which was from Flight Test. I retaught myself how to solder. I hadn't soldered since I was a kid, putting little wires together to make a little stage for my little toys that I would have, because I'm a musician and I liked, doing stuff like that. I would wire up stages. But anyways, I didn't know how to solder. I had to relearn how to solder, how to tin, how to do all these things. And through that process, it's been crazy, but I've learned so much, gained a lot of different people to talk to and to work with, and just love doing this. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger the more I go, and I'm just riding the tide with it. I don't know what else I could, you know, I don't know what else I can do to kind of say, look, you know, where I was 2 years ago was I didn't know anything. I went to my local hobby shop and the guy said, 4? I don't have 4 of anything. I build quadcopters. I need 4 motors, buddy. And nobody knew anything. So that started doing, like, I started networking with people, trying to figure this whole thing out. And that's what Flight Test helped me out with, is getting networked. And I reached out to them and said, hey, this quad I built, I spent $500 to build. I asked my wife, I said, should I do this? You know, is this something that I should get into? Should I get into a hobby? And she gave me her blessing, and I built the Versacopter. I didn't know what I was doing. I talked with those guys and sent it back. I even have video footage, if any of y'all know in there, of Josh Bixler actually flying my Versacopter drone and giving me the thumbs up saying, you idiot, you don't know how to put together a quadcopter. No, he didn't say that. But I was like, wow, I still have that video. And it feels, for me now, it's like, it's folklore. It's like, you know, stuff that is going to be talked about, at least for me, in my community of FPV pilots and friends that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger the more the time goes by.
So let me ask you some stuff. Because I'm going to go back a little ways. Because I looked at your channel. You started your channel actually putting vids up in 2009.
I did. I've been around on the internet since basically the internet really became a thing. That's why you don't see any elite or anything behind, hey, Kim, when did you sneak in?
Yeah.
Hey, Lewis.
You know, I've had a pure Lewis P Floyd name on the internet for, I don't know, close to 25 years now. I first started out as P Brown 65 in the back Yahoo days, you know, from Amazon or AOL and all that stuff. So my YouTube channel has been there for a while, and I didn't start out with drones or anything like that. I just started out with other stuff. What did you think of the new stuff or the earlier stuff?
Like the Innocent Project, exoneration through DNA, and how we do our legal system, which is something that I've been involved in with for years. So that was extremely exciting to see that you'd put some stuff up about that.
What I had did with that was very exciting. It was The Art of the Innocents. And this one person had been wrongly accused of a murder. And through his artwork, we kind of expressed what, you know, his life was being incarcerated. And then, of course, we had the whole, the Furman, you know, the lawyer, Mr. Furman, you know, going through all these DNA cases and exonerating people with DNA. And we were just a small component of that. And here in where I live, our museum hosted a gentleman that was from this area that was exonerated through the DNA process, and we hosted his art here. And I was able to videotape that, and that's what you see through those, I think, 4 or 5 videos. One gentleman and another gentleman, 2 exonerees that had come in and talked about their incarceration and then their release and all of that. And it was just fascinating stuff. And they did artwork, and we pulled it in, and one of them, you know, one of the gentlemen wrote music and stuff like that. So we just kind of put it all into a ball and put it out there. And it was great, exciting work to do, because it was something that was kind of new. YouTube was just starting to be a thing, and I don't know.
Well, and I'm going to go back and watch all those because I find that subject extremely interesting.
It's amazing stuff. You know, like stuff like he would say, stuff that they would say, like, well, when I went into jail, Ghostbusters was the big movie. And you're sitting there thinking, you know, and this is like 2009. I was like, really? Ghostbusters in 80, whatever it was? And
yeah.
You know, so it's just a lot of mind-blowing scenarios that you can put yourself in, because here's the guy telling you about it, and here's what he he went through and what happened to him and how they got through, what they went through. It was riveting.
So how old is your little girl now? Because the next one I saw, she was running away from a rhino. No, a Zumi.
A Romeo. It's a little robot that I bought for her to put on with her little eye thing, and it became a semi-autonomous robot friend thing that she could play with. And that I just put that up on YouTube because I don't know, I didn't have anything else to put up at the time, and people didn't know YouTube as much as they did and didn't get into it as much as they did. Yeah.
Very cute though, running around in a little sock.
Yeah, she's my gorgeous little princess. She skates now. She's an ice skater, and that's what she loves to do. She's a trumpet player. I don't know why she became a brass player, me being a woodwind, but hey, I won't hold it against her.
They all march to their own tune, don't they?
Yeah, and she's a pretty darn good trumpet player too, unfortunately for her, because she's going to have to play well all the time now. No splatty notes, no blasting. Good tone always. I hope she's watching.
And then you really started picking up doing more of your drone stuff, at least on YouTube, if you haven't deleted anything, back at the end of 2015. And
so you know how people do those ridiculously cool portraits of, oh, here's my little girl at 1 year old, and I took a picture every day, and here we are 25 years later, and that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, look, FPV freestyle and all of that stuff was really starting, excuse the pun, to take off. And I see all of these videos that were just, I wanted to do videos like that. I wanted to have that visceral, wow, that was awesome. And wow, it was completely cool, synchronized to the music. And it was just a great cut and an edit. And then all of that great stuff. And my rinky dinky, boom, 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 stupid little drone flying and beautiful little sunset that I thought was awesome. I was like, all right, here we go. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for being the most uploaded FPV guy ever. I'm going to try and upload every day. I don't care if it looks like crap or not. I'm going to try my best, excuse me, to just kind of document my progress. And going back, wow, I've come a long way. I can see it in my own self. And being a musician, that's how I kind of see through that lens. And that's how drones have become to me. It's become a practice. It's like, I got to fly every day. I got to play every day. I got to keep my chops up. I got to keep this going so that when I need to, I can stress relief and do the thing that I know that I can do skillfully, and not have to think about it.
Did you start in December of 2015? Is that when you started?
Yeah, I think so. Soon after, yeah, I got that drone for my wife for Christmas, and I think I saw Crash Session a couple of weeks later with my good friend John, and he started the adventure with me, and he's not along with me on this adventure, but he started it with me, and we had two thoughts that, like, should we build a drone or should we buy a drone? And my thought was, I want to build it so that when I break it, I know how to fix it. And his budget didn't allow him to go that route. So the experiment was all right, man, buy a drone and let's see what we can do with it. And he did, and he busted it up, and it was great times. And I've got video of it. I have never uploaded it because he destroyed that drone. And it's the most funniest thing, and it's personal to me, and I don't know if I'll ever upload it, but we had the greatest conversation afterwards. And to his credit, because he knows what the hell he's doing with anything he can fix, that drone was a piece of spaghetti when he picked it up. That night, I built my second Versacopter quad in 6 hours. It took me forever. This is a simple quad to build. He rebuilt his out of plywood, and he went and bought. I had to do a clarinet lesson at the time. In the 1 hour that I did my clarinet lesson, he went out to like Lowe's and bought yardsticks and all this crap. And we went down to my basement, and that night, 6 hours later, came out with my Versacopter drone and his rebuilt drone so that we could go fly the next day. And it was just ridiculous because he blew that thing up. I mean, the video, I slow motioned it and everything, and parts were flying everywhere. What he did was he was being a cocky SOB, and he punched out. He was, hey, check it out. He punched out. I had another Versacopter, and we were like dueling and having fun. So I was like, all right, John, I got to go do my lesson. I said, but can I try that drone out? So I tried it out, and I hovered it, and I was like, man, it was the E-Sheen. If anybody knows what that is, it's the googly-eyed one with the red face and the big lenses. It was the E-Sheen. It was the worst drone ever. And so he takes it back from me. He goes, yeah. He pops it up, and then he really punches it out. Now, my drone with the camera was facing us, and I got it all on video by accident. And the moment that he punched up and made a mistake because it flipped over, he then throttled it again, and he threw it into the ground, and it just exploded. And it was just so funny. Yes, you in the back. You have a question?
Yeah.
Kim Kitchen's in his hand.
But you're saying hi to everybody that's coming on. That's good, Lewis.
I love that. We had a couple questions, but I just kind of wrote them down. Jump Up wanted to know if you knew the real history of drones and how they started. And John wanted to know that once you get to a point of everything, you're
No.
doing it constantly, does the adrenaline rush, the excitement go away?
No, I still literally come off shaking sometimes. Like on some, like when I do some riskier flights that I think I'm going to lose my drone, I'm going to get in trouble, which I try and mitigate being in trouble. I do not fly over people. I follow rules. I'm good at all about that. I'm AMA. I do all of that stuff, but it's still a rush because the fear is you're gonna screw up and crash, and you don't want to be a knucklehead and lose your drone, break your drone because it's a lot of money. I've lost drones. I've lost 3 drones in my life, and one has come back to me with a big story about that just recently, last night, in fact. And no, you don't lose your rush once, and it's just like music. You go from being good to getting better to continuing to get better. So I'm never going to be a Mr. Steele or a Ladrib, but I'm going to still try and fly like them. And I'm going to get better as a result of that. And I'm going to have my own, I'll make it my own back in the old days from American Idol. You'll make your flying your own. I do tricks differently than my friend Aaron does. And we do the same tricks, but he does it with a different flair than I do. And that's the difference that I go back to. Like if you know jazz and you like jazz, you can differentiate a great soloist like John Coltrane from a really crappy soloist like Kenny G. And that's really on the spectrum. But just to give you that that idea. So no, you keep getting better, and you just keep raising the bar. And that's another cool thing about flying with people and having this community and having people physically fly with you too. Come out and have a meetup. Hey guys, I'm going to the local park where we fly all the time. Meet me there. Oh crap, there's people there. All right, well, let's go to our next meetup. Go over. All right, let's fly. Great. I bet you guys can't do this. Watch that, and it's that, kind of one-upsmanship that gets you better. So you don't ever stop progressing, especially if you love something. Keep going back to music. It's like that.
So I got a question for you, because I see these great flyers. Plummett's a great flyer. I mean, all these guys, there's some great flyers. You're a great flyer. And I saw one of your beginning, and it says flying in the backyard, which is what I do. I fly in the backyard. how long did it take you from flying in the backyard to doing, is it, because I think we have 3 years of steady drone flying from you, kind of journaled in YouTube, kind of,
Yeah.
So is that how long? I mean,
it's a progression. Yeah, you can look at my earlier flights and see I'm still in stabilized mode. I'm not flying in acro, or now I'm in horizon mode and I can do flips and I'm getting close to things and doing some tricks and learning. It really all comes down to the weight and feel of your drone. It's like, and I explain it to people, like it's getting into a big whoopty car and the steering's really loose, and you know how to navigate that after you've practiced it, or it's getting into a real tight sports car and you just a slight turn on and it's going to go. So it's a feel. It's a kind of a feel thing. And then the practice goes along with it too, because it's that muscle memory. It's that finesse of, I want to do this, and here's how I got to do it, and here's how it feels physically on the sticks, and how I see it coming across the video. So it's like, it took me a while to get where I am. And I've done it in layers, not so much as like what some people say, oh, start right out in acro. Oh, don't do that. I started out flying line of sight and FPV on a modified drone that predated tiny whoops. It was an Andromeda. It was a toy class drone that you can buy at Walmart, $50, I think. And what I did was I ripped the canopy off from it and I put on a little security camera, just like the guys did at the Tiny Whoop. But they did it on a smaller drone called an Inductrix with a ducted fan, the little ones. And I did it on a bigger drone that was a little bit more foreboding, and I learned how to fly it in my house, flying it around my poor family. And my cats and whatnot. And they've been, my family has been great in supporting me with this ridiculous hobby and my ridiculousness about it.
And Ed is saying right now, hey, Mo. Ed is saying right now he's really confused about horizon. I think he said stab, but that might be stabilization mode different.
All right, so with a drone, okay. So there's ways that you fly a drone. Most DJIs and most consumer grade drones has a stabilized or lock mode. Now, I might interchange some of these terms, so don't kill me, internet. But stabilized is most stabilized. You're not going to be able to flip it. The flight controller is basically giving it the directions to stay stable, and your inputs on the stick just tell it to go forward, pitch left or right, okay? Horizon mode is a mix between stabilized and acro mode. Acro mode is completely training wheels off. I'm flying the thing. So if I want to fly like this and turn the quad like that, it's going to stay like that until I correct it on my sticks, give it new inputs. If I want to fly like this, or so that's why you can see I fly upside down and do flips and do the acro stuff. So going back to horizon mode, that's a mix between the leveling and the acro. So horizon mode will give you a level state until you deflect your sticks a certain way, and then it will do a flip. And then if you make a mistake, it will auto-correct and come back as close to possible stabilized as it can. So I blended all of that in learning on how to fly in acro mode. So I learned, in between stabilized, horizon, and then to acro mode when I was out in a bigger field. And now I pretty much fly in acro mode all the time, because you can't do all the cool, gnarly little tricks that you could, you can't do with horizon mode.
Wow. Lily, please stop whatever you're doing. I'm sorry, my big Saint Bernard.
Send a drone after
I can hear her just scratching on something. I'm like, she's probably like destroying my bed. Oh my God.
Hey, J-Ray's in here, gonna rip him down. Woo!
J-Ray.
J-Ray's got a video coming out that's I'm super jelly of.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. Yeah, he showed me a screenshot of it. You should, if you want to see some flying, go see that boy. He's good too. And which is crazy, I would have never met J-Ray. He's from the same close to the same town from where I grew up. I was flying a specific spot that everybody knows and loves, Rudy's Fish Stand, the best fish fry around in central New York. And I've been going there all my life. So it's right on the lake, right on Lake Ontario. So I go there every Saturday. I take my mom and I take my family, and we have fish fries. And of course, I got to fly the place. So I did, and I flew it, and I put up my video as I usually do. Well, I get a message from this guy, J. Ray. Hey, was that the? Yeah, it was. It was Rudy's. I live in the area, so we ended up meeting up, and he's the coolest guy ever. He's, he loves drones like I do. He's getting into FPV. He's learning how to. He bought a ready to fly one. He's built one himself now. So he's a cool guy to go fly with now when I go home. Go visit my mom. If J. Ray's not working, hey man, let's go fly. And that's another cool thing about the community is there's so many people popping up, and then because we're seeing each other's videos and watching, hey, that's the mall. I used to go to that. I had 3 people when I flew my mall, my local, the mall that I used to go to when I was a kid. I got a chance to go there because unfortunately half of it's abandoned now. And through connections through Aaron, we're doing races in this mall. And I got to fly the iconic Great Northern Mall thing outside with J. Ray. And I found 4 other people in the area that flew FPV that said, I know where that is. Who are you? What's going on? And then more people to fly with, more people in the community.
That's
So
cool.
I heard, okay.
Sorry.
No, I thought you had a question, so I was going back. Hey, Cam. I don't even have a sock with me, so that's just sad.
Oh, thank
So,
God.
Yeah, I saw you sniffing socks this morning.
yeah.
When I'm supposed to be working.
And
Like, what is going on?
So does me. I don't know what the heck. So let me ask you a question, because this is the one thing I wonder. When I went to FPV, I mean, I tell everyone this story that I didn't even realize that the VR goggles I had would work with the breeze, right? Because all I had to do is it'd be anything like that where I could slip my phone in.
All right,
Because the phone is splitting the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do I, sitting in Idaho, learn what FPV really is and how to do that? How would
It's called YouTube University. YouTube University. And I mean that because just like the guy sitting there, Mr. Ken and Mr. Roger, they're a hub for people. So you want to learn about FPV? Well, you found the right place. Look at the videos that we're putting up. Look at the other people that are putting up build videos and start interacting with some of the community, and you'll learn, because that's what this community I think tends to do is they want to teach. They want to show people this coolness because they can't believe it themselves. They're like, wow, I can't keep this I can't keep it secret. Here, you got to see this. And through that, you're going to learn. So what do you want to know? You tap into what you want to know through YouTube. If you want to learn about the goggles, look up a Joshua Bardwell video about the goggles, and he does a shootout, which is called, he'll take the hottest goggles, Fat Shark. He'll even shoot out the Fat Shark models between themselves. And Fat Shark models are the cool goggles that
they are cool.
That I wear. And another misnomer too is the difference between virtual reality, augmented reality, and these goggles. These are not virtual reality goggles. These are goggles that are used to intercept video, a video transmission, and it's low latency, and that's why it's analog. That's back in the old days when you had rabbit ears on your antenna, or rabbit-eared antennas on your TV. This is what we're using. It's that old analog signal. And that's why it's scratchy sometimes and it goes in and out and goes snowy. But it's low latency, fast. So that way I can fly and not crash and not know about it until seconds later. And Bardwell will do a shootout and explain to you why this model and that model and this model has any relevance to you. And from there, you can take and understand what it is. Now, 2 to 3 years ago, there was no Joshua Bardwell. There was no Painless 360. There was no any of that. There was Flight Test and maybe some other real obscure things happening on the internet that you couldn't find or get to. Now it's so ubiquitous. It's an industry. And that's another cool thing that I'm really tapped into is like, this is an industry. This is not a niche market anymore. This hobby is becoming something vast and crazy, and I want a piece of it, and I want to be able to have my influence on it. And that's a little egotistical, I think, but I don't want Amazon drones flying over my house. I love drones, but I don't want Amazon drones flying over my house. And one of the unique things that I have is this right here, CNY Drones. And it's a nonprofit company or organization. It's me and a couple of people that work really hard to bring information about drones to the community. And why we're so into it here where I am is we're one of 7 test sites in all of the United States where drones are flying free. We've got Target, Amazon, Walmart. My buddy works with NASA here in Rome, trying to figure out how they're going to integrate drones into the national airspace. I mean, that's what? Really? That's happening in my area. And I'm excited about that because I want to see technology be leveraged instead of something that beats us over the head. I want people to use technology in connection with their work, not as a replacement of work. And I see drones as one aspect where technology and can really help mankind. It can really hurt mankind too. But I'm for the really help mankind part of it. And I see that there's a pipeline that I can help begin of kids learning these systems, because FPV is cool, but then we can start talking about, hey, well, FPV is really cool, but did you ever think about the agricultural benefit that a drone could bring? How about search and rescue? How about, and I can go on and on. So I think that because I'm in this area and where I am in this point in time, I have a unique position to be an influencer. And you two knuckleheads, Kim and Roger, are influencers too, because you guys, through whatever your magic is, I don't know, I've crept up onto the, I'm getting supporters, and I'm getting now being able to get my word out there and my goofy antics out there to start that discourse about drones. And that's what we need is we need a discussion. We need a real serious discussion, but lighthearted at the same time, but pointed and something to get done with it. Because if we don't, these things are going to be buzzing around all over the place.
So what do you think it is? I mean, because we have the guys on here. I'm going to go click them on so we can see their faces. There they are. Oh, someone needs a haircut. I won't say anything else. But my sock puppet will demonstrate what you need later. What is it about these guys that keep people coming to this channel? And we're all kind of coming together, growing our channels, and really getting into drones. What is it that these guys are bringing us?
It's crazy. It's funny. It's intriguing. It's just goofiness, but it's about drones too. And Roger and Kim just have a chemistry that I like watching. And they have 1,000 viewers. And right now, I have a forum with them. And you have 1,000 viewers, which you're an anomaly to me too, Val, because why do you like them? Why is your channel so big? And that intrigues me, because the internet makes people, huge. And I think sometimes the right people who become huge, that's awesome, because in media, we often, the dollar works and the dollar moves things. And I've kind of stopped watching TV. I watch YouTube. I watch Roger and Kim. You know, in the morning. Now, sorry, Roger and Kim, I'm going back to work now, so I'm gonna have to dampen my view time sometime. But good thing you're on YouTube, and I can go back and watch some stuff. I could scroll along. Oh, there was a real big conversation there. I gotta hear that. You know, so I think that this whole hub that you all, Canadian Drone Network, has created is special, because where else are we going to get this?
Right.
It's like bringing you all together.
Yeah.
All you guys, all you smart brains, put them in one room.
Hey, my brain is getting dumber by the day, so don't count me in.
No, we like having all these people.
Go ahead, Roger.
I like having all the people here in the community, for sure. Personally, I do not do FPVing, and I've said it before. I do not know electronics. I don't know buzz all about drones. But me, I open this channel up, especially to get people involved. You know, it is a very good hobby. I love seeing the people flying their machines, their drones.
We want to keep it strong.
We want to keep it strong going.
If
Also,
we don't, you're gonna have people stepping on it.
yeah,
And slowly it'll start disappearing.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I'm afraid of, and that's why I want to create that pipeline. And that's another reason why communities and hubs like this, and the outreach that hopefully I'm getting to Val's subscribers, is, look, if we don't rally for this hobby, which is important, because little kids like this, and what little kids like, they tend to like when they're adults too. I remember when I was a kid at a camp that I used to go to, seeing a dude bring this helicopter out by the pond and fly it, and I was amazed by it. I was a poor kid. I didn't have the stuff to, but I remember that. And now that I get to do that with these stupid things, I'm living my fantasy as a kid again. Now, if I had the means to do that when I was that age, I might be doing that instead of music. So those course corrections with hobbies are huge in young people's lives. And if you can interact with a kid and make them a semi-decent flute player, and they love it for life, man, I don't care. That's the bee's knees, because you've interacted in that person for the rest of your life, or for the rest of their lives. And that's what that interaction with that helicopter did with me. And I wasn't able to do it. And I see all that kind of coalescing now around drones. And if we don't teach kids about these things, because they will become ubiquitous, whether they're flying or roving, we need to have people understand how they're going to do good for us and work well for us and not dominate us. Mm-hmm. And I think, being in this area again, I can create that pipeline of little kids understanding drones. I have had fourth graders flying drones, FPV, fifth graders and sixth graders doing it, and building and helping me repair the drones is amazing. And they're interested, and that's what they love. And that could create a job that we don't know. The educators are always saying, well, we're working on, teaching jobs that we don't even know that are created yet. Well, I know what's going to be created. It's a lineage of drones. Learn it here. It's like the old time cars. Start to be a mechanic now, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to fix your own car. Oh, gee, that's what happens. But if you learn the technology now and the understanding of flight and aerobatics, or stuff, you're gonna absorb it and be more appreciative of it, and hopefully go in the right direction. Fingers crossed.
So, Paul, let me ask you, now with this new thing coming out where they're trying to limit what we can do in the airspace.
So that's Amazon, Walmart, and all those guys. The big buck is what is kind of rolling here. They want to take away, and I think this is my guess, the hobby space. So if they take away that bandwidth, the 5.8 and the 2.4, I can't do FPV anymore. Because if they take that away, then Roger, Kim, and I can't fly our drones. And their thinking is if those people can't fly the drones, then we have that airspace to fly our drones. And nothing's going to happen to our drones. Because they're not even going to use radio frequency control. They're going to use cell towers. But they want to mitigate the damage. Now, let's take out the birds. Let's take out the errant baseball from a kid's game. What about all those disastrous things that are going to hit your drone that's carrying Roger's toothpaste? I mean, come on. I really don't see drones as them flying it to people's houses, but I do see drones flying it to warehouses, to other warehouses. And that's where we've got to be careful too, because they're going to take that airspace. And if we don't have that airspace to do our hobby, then where are the kids going to learn about RC control, radio links, and all of that cool stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what.
Where are we going to fly our toys? Damn it!
That's right. That's what I'm thinking.
True.
I'm thinking as we all get better at this and we're doing more of this, at what point do we all just stand up and say it's just not all right for the corporations to again come in and make these big decisions based on their dollar? I understand they want to make money, they want to keep people employed, but someone has to be flying these drones. They're just not flying themselves. Someone's flying them.
No, it's all going to be autonomous. It's a network thing. That's one of the reasons why they're trying to figure out how to integrate this airspace. It would be worse if a human were flying these drones. It's too much for a human to do. Do you see how fast my one drone goes? And I'm flying by the seat of my pants all the time. But obviously they're not going to be flying that fast, or maybe they will. But humans aren't going to be controlling them. It's going to be all automated.
Oh, yeah. They'll have charging stations on top of buildings.
Amazon has even applied for patents where they put big dirigible airships above cities, and they're going to those will be the stocking warehouses. So what will happen? Well, that's one of their patents. What will happen is that airship will supply the small things like toothpaste, all that kind of stuff above a metropolis or some city or some population, and the drones will supply it, and then that inventory could be moved easily somewhere else or brought back and resupplied them. So stuff going from big dirigibles, using drones, down to warehouses, out to trucks or drones that are driven will be most likely the feasible way that Amazon, Walmart, and Target will be able to do that delivery process. But in the meantime, at whose cost? The hobbyist cost. Because we're not going to have that airspace anymore. Or we're going to be so mitigated to an airspace over this park and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and when I think of the beautiful aerial things that the guys and some of the gals have done, and the beautiful other, the acro flights and the racers and all that, and to have that all just go away is just.
You'll see it.
It'll go underground, which will make it more dangerous.
You'll see all that beautiful footage and all that, but it won't be you doing it.
Yeah, true. Right. It'll be something else. Now, so there's just and two, to be short-sighted about getting rid of the hobbyist. A hobbyist will go underground if you want to fly a drone. That'll be a thing. And I look at it like skateboarding. Back in the day when I was a kid, skateboarding was a thing. You can't go anywhere skateboarding. Now they put things up, no skateboarding. They put physical things on things where we used to grind, where you can't skateboard anymore. Mm-hmm. And I kind of see this freestyle FPV thing as skateboarding, just with a new toy. It's guys and gals wanting to go somewhere and have fun, a little recklessly, but within limits. And who says that that's bad? But then you got the bad apples that push those limits, and it ruins the hobby.
Yeah.
But if we don't have a hobby to ruin, what are we going to do? So we got to make sure that you support the hobby and you do the right thing, but don't be a knucklehead and make people say, well, those drone people, they're no good anyways. I saw a flyer somebody had posted on Facebook, and it's kind of true, but at the same time, it's not. Flying drones is fun for one, not fun for all.
Not true.
Okay.
Not true.
That's pretty short-sighted. And it was a hamstrung, you know, because obviously somebody was pissed off about somebody flying in their park. Come on.
Yeah,
You know, I'm mad at the guy that I'm flying and their dog is off of their leash and comes over and gives me the crotch thing. You know, oh my God, you know? Wait a minute. I didn't see that coming. I usually try and protect from that, but you know,
what are you gonna do?
Let's follow the rules, you know. But at the same time, we got to have rules so that we can play too. Kim, you in the back there? You wanted a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, question.
Just wanted to say hi. Everybody's coming in the chat there. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, sorry. I've ignored the chat and I feel bad, but I am kind of watching it. Doug is going to go pick up Kelly.
Yeah.
He has a bad back, but he loves Kelly, so he'll go get her.
I got to probably stop talking so much because I'm
no, I love it.
It's your time. It's your time there. It's good, Louis. Yeah.
Well,
Paul, I love the enthusiasm that you display when we're talking about this, because everybody on, at least I think everyone on here, this is very important information. And we have to figure out, is there any way that we could do this? Now, we have this wonderful hub, I agree, the Canadian Drone Network, where we can all kind of get together and kind of on occasion, you know, talk about, okay, now, how do we protect what we have?
We have to lobby and know how to be smart about lobbying. AMA is on the hobbyist side, not so necessarily as, in my opinion, the drone side. But the most important thing is the repeal of 333, which is something that allows the hobbyists the airspace that we have and enjoy. And if AMA loses the 333 and the airspace, ain't nobody gonna fly fixed wing or drone or anything. So it's in their best interest to corral all of us people with some enthusiasm and some passion about what we do. And even though it's 4 propellers on a quad, embrace us, because we want to do something about this and we want to have our voices heard to not lose the space and not lose the hobby. Big people I know are doing work on this. Going back to what I was saying before about Flight Test and this guy, Chad Capper. Chad Capper is a producer, videographer guy that created and helped create the Flight Test brand. Flight Test is this great place for STEM education in FPV, drones, everything aerial and RC related. They sell a great number of products and lesson plans and a whole bunch of stuff. And they have a store too that you can buy really good products from for FPV and drones in general, or fixed wing and so on and so forth. But Chad Capper, who's produced them and got them going, also helped and produced this other thing called Rotor Riot. There you go, J. Ray. And Rotor Riot is also becoming this kind of bad boyish but good thing for the hobby as well. They're kind of like the Top Gear of quadcopters. You know, they have programs where their content on YouTube is, you know, let's fly 2 drones with 1 controller and see what happens. Let's talk about, you know, how you fly and you do a certain aerial trick. They have all this great stuff and all this great content, which pushes the hobby. And those guys and Chad Capper are really working hard to figure out how to lobby the right way to not lose 333 and to really keep this hobby going, because it's important. A lot of people learn a lot of cool stuff from hobbies like this. I know I did, and I'm in my 40s now. So who stops learning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just read what Starcup said. He said, if we don't have the money to pay the lobbyists, right? So the people who really know how to go in and talk to our representatives. But he says all we can do is write a representatives. But I got to tell you, one thing I learned when I was working in courts and stuff is writing your lobbyists, a lot of times will work. It will get them at least the attention we need.
And what I've learned too, being a teacher, handwritten, unfortunately, is really what gets them. I've gone and lobbied at my state capitol for music education in my schools, and one of the things that impressed me and made me really pay attention is when we went in to talk about a certain issue, the senator or congressman pulled out handwritten pissed off notes about the topic. And if you fill out the emails and hit send, they don't care about that. That's too easy to hit send. If you get somebody writing, even if it's kind of a form letter, but you're still handwriting it, they pay attention to that. They really do pay attention to that. And I think you got 1,000 people, Roger and Kim got 1,000 people. If they're really after it, hey, just a simple to your congressperson, don't repeal 333, save the space for the hobbyists, would go a long way, would really ruffle some feathers, and those people would politically have to say, hey, my constituents are for this and we want to keep it. So we got to figure something else out.
Right, because they can relegate me to my backyard, but I can't promise that I'm in control enough to keep it in my backyard.
That's there's just so many gray areas, and this is illegal to fly certain places, but yet my tiny whoop is not illegal to fly anywhere, and that's where I'm kind of teaching. Where I teach is I teach tiny whoop builds and such, so that I can kind of not have to deal with the FAA issues or have a Part 107, because my whole deal is I want to stay a hobbyist. If I become a Part 107 certificate holder, then I'm held to a different standard, and I want to still stay in the realm of the hobbyist. So that's my kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards. I believe you should be licensed if you're going to fly a drone in areas where it might be over people. You get a waiver, or it might be in areas where it might break or hurt infrastructure. But damn, if I'm going to be licensed to go fly in my park when nobody is there.
Right.
Come on.
Right. J. Ray has a question for the Canadians, which I'm assuming.
I hear it's worse there.
The guys back here. How are the regulations in Canada, Kim and Roger?
Well, they already set regulations, and it's 90 meters. The height is 90 meters, and it's line of sight. No 30 meters from homes and people and field mice.
Yeah, you can't fly over animals, and
That's it. Yeah.
But they're about the same here, but a little less. But I have spotters and such when I fly, and that's what we're supposed to do.
In the beginning, it was crazy. When you were allowed to buy a DJI drone, it was chaos. They were flying everywhere. They were breaking the law like you wouldn't believe. The St. Lawrence River must have about $500,000 worth of drones in there.
Yeah,
probably.
On a news report one night, they were saying that there's about $500,000 worth of drones in the St. Lawrence River.
DJI products.
Yeah, DJI products, because everybody tried to fly and do over the rapids and everything, and they got into the water. So they said altogether they calculated about that $500,000 worth of drones in the water.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's by the Jacques-Cartier Bridge and up towards the St. Lawrence there in Montreal.
Wow.
So it was a field day. People were breaking the laws and regulations, and then Canada was starting to get worried about it with their transport minister. So they said 90 meters and line of sight.
Yeah.
And 30 meters from farm animals, people, homes.
Yeah. Like beyond trees, says 300 feet.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you know, at the same time, the whole market with the drones, with the DJIs, that's difficult because I think I like the DJIs, but at the same time they kind of ruined, I think, or it's pushing on the other drones because, and I know I'm probably going to get flack from a lot of people, but I fly my drone. The DJI satellites fly those. You know, you put in the input and it has to be going through 14 satellites before the drone moves. And it does happen fast.
Yeah.
It gives you the impression that you're flying that drone, but it's all controlled. Now, here's where I go. Anybody can go out and buy $2,000 worth of a DJI or some sort of drone at Best Buy or whatever and go fly it. The person who does that most of the time doesn't want it to break or crash, but they're so, you know, kind of new at it that happens.
Yeah.
And those are the guys and gals that are dangerous. What I present and hope to have is I build my quads. I love my quads. I don't want to lose or break my quads. I'm going to try and fly crazily and have fun. And I will crash and I will break them, but it's not malicious or anything like that. It's in the event or in the attempt of doing the sport and doing the art. And that's where I'm kind of different, where I'm going to want to go to a great epic spot that I get permission to fly first and have fun. Yeah. I've done that. I've gone to Vermont and my family and I came upon this beautiful museum, an outdoor garden sculpture of this great, you know, beautiful, you can see it in one of my videos. It's called The Muse. Just tall, maybe two-story tall woman made of sheet metal, it looks like. And it was gorgeous. I was like, I got to fly that. Oh, my God. So we saw that one year, and I just flipped out, and I was beginning of my drone experience. And then the next year we came back and said, I brought drones. I said, I'm going to go ask. It's an art installation. I do art with FPV. They got to like this. So my family and I went up to the museum, awesome museum, Vermont in Manchester. It's the largest installation, outdoor installation in Vermont, sculpture, and I got to fly it. I got permission. I flew around this art stuff. I wish I was a better pilot. Next year I'm going to go ask again and say, hey, my skills are better. And I made a video. I tied it all together the best I could. No copyrights were hurt. Nobody. I even talked to the museum and got the guy who created it, his name off of the placard, and had an interaction with him, and he loved my video. He said, I've never seen my artwork that way before. And that just blew my mind too. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the coolness. This is what I like about it. And this is what makes me excited about it. And who's going to put a stop to that? Because I can't fly my toy around something cool? Come on, government.
Yeah.
So Ms. Crowley says, I disagree. I follow all laws and regs.
Michelle Brown, yeah.
I fly would do the same. You would need to be part of that before you judge. So what did I miss, Mr. Crowley? So was that in response to something that follows
the GPS? See, most of the FPV guys, they fly what, max height, maybe 150 feet max if you're really pushing it.
You can fly it as high as you want. It depends on the components that are on your rig. You can fly long range, but most people, if you're having fun and flying FPV, you're below trees. Tree level or below, or unless you're around buildings that you're flying and you're below the buildings. Yeah. So people can't, the satellite thing wouldn't work anyways, because sometimes the acquirement of the satellites and all that stuff, and then going in between. So I have signal issues that I have to worry about and mitigate when I'm flying FPV as well, because if my video goes out, that's why you have a spotter. And that's why you fly in safe positions and spots where if you lose something, if your drone just freaks out for whatever reason and goes off, you know, nobody's going to get hurt. Nobody's going to, you know, your drone is going to get lost or broken. Oh, well.
You see, with GPS, you guys are FPV stuck at this level, and GPS is at this level. Okay.
Well, GPS, if you take the training wheels off from your off of your DJI, you can go above 400 feet. And if you're if you're a Part 107 person and have a DJI or something bigger like an Inspire, you would have to get a waiver to go above that limit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the trick though. If you're on a hill or a mountain that is 3,000 feet, you get to be 400 feet above that 3,000 feet.
That's
so
right.
it's above whatever terrain you're above 400 feet. Now, FPV, there's this thing that is a thing that's called send it to the moon. And what people do is they get their drone out and they punch out and they just full throttle straight up for 30 seconds, or how long can you stand it, and then drop the throttle and let the thing fall back to earth. Now, some guys, there are videos out there, some guys lose video. Now, if you know how the world works and how things move, when you throttle up, that drone is going to be somewhere else. So unless you have a control link or you know what you're doing, that's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
That's why we have rules. But then at the same time, it's just like, well, but that rule is going to mess with some other person doing something good that way, not something knuckleheaded that way. You know, so it's all, and that's the gray area that we're kind of into is we don't know where to set those limits and why should we set those limits.
So Leonard Shea would like to know, should I get I think it's saying a Spark.
Spark or a Maverick Pro.
I want a drone for travel videos.
Then any one of those systems would do well. It's just you would have to kind of do your research and find out what specifically you want it for you. I know one version over other versions does a follow. You know, you can tie it into your phone and GPS it, and you can put your phone in your pocket. And you can walk down a trail, and the Mavic or the drone will follow you and have obstacle avoidance, like if there's trees in the way, and it'll get other, you know, but it'll track you. Those things are really cool for like if you're doing boats, you know, or kayaking or whatever. You just kind of set the drone there, and it follows you. If you're wanting to do more sport or more aerodynamic, if you want to fly it more, I guess, then you know there's another version of it that you can get where it's in more of a sport mode, but it still has that gimbal where it's going to give you very beautifully smooth, you know, video after your flight.
Plummet said, "Flying high doesn't excite me. Need me some trees."
So okay, so that is true, because going out to a barren field with nothing on it, unless you're somebody like Johnny FPV and getting some juicy flicks and some dances and stuff, it's boring. You want to fly you want to fly proximity. You want to fly through stuff. You want to have the chance of breaking your stuff and picking it up and crying and going home. That's exciting. That's what's fun. And I've done that because I've gone full on into walls, into trees. I climbed a tree 400 feet one time. It wasn't 400 feet, but it felt like it. It was like at least maybe a story building. It was a pine tree. I get all the way up to the top of the damn thing and find out that my drone is in the next tree over. So I'm at the top of this tall pine tree, and my little girl is at the base of it, you know, because we're out at the park and Daddy's flying. And I say, all right, little girl. I was like, I'm going to try, you know, so I'm like swinging the other on top, trying to grab the other tree. And
oh, no.
It was hilarious. It was funny. I got the drone back, thankfully. Nobody got hurt. I didn't fall. But, you know, but I'm going to do stuff like that because I like climbing trees anyways.
Right. Hey, Roger, you guys want to take over for just a minute? I'll be right back.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I find appealing with FPV now. I've done my GPS and fly real high and see all the nice stuff and everything, but it's become boring. No offense to anybody that's flying a Phantom or any of this kind of camera drone.
Well, it's definitely niche. You know, you get I don't know. I like flying the Phantoms too. I've flown a couple of them. I don't own one myself, but it's just it's different for me. I like all of the drones, but I am into FPV big time. I mean, I can have fun just flying a drone and just line of sighting it and popping it around. But yeah, where the excitement is the FPV. It's just that's the adrenaline rush. And if I could fly a race course in my house with my friends around my coffee table and feeling like scale speed of 400 miles an hour when you're in there, God, I'm going to do that because it's fun. It's just so exhilarating. And then, you take the goggles off and you see your friend fly in and what felt like, inside the goggles, and you take the goggles off and you
See,
I couldn't make that move. They're going that fast.
That's it. How do I put it? The Force 100 Ghost kind of set me off.
Yeah.
No GPS, no altitude hold, and go between wires.
Yeah, you can hit gaps and stuff.
That's what got me going a little bit, and watching you guys.
Yeah, and that's what I keep thinking that's great about the community too is you keep stepping it up. Hopefully everybody does safe things. I've seen some pretty stupid videos, and I've done some stupid things in retrospect that, man, come on, what am I thinking? But at the same time, I want to be safe. I want to have fun, but I want to kind of live on that edge too, because that's where it's fun and exciting. And breaking my $1,000 drone while racing through the woods is exciting to me. So please let me keep doing that. That's where I'm kind of at too. And that's why I keep going back to, the other stuff that I do with CNY drones is to teach people about the coolness of it, but where we can go with it.
We hold than just GPS.
Yeah. Well, one of the things too that we do, this will be our second year for it. The first year we did a team drone challenge where we had 6 teams all the way as far as Connecticut come to Utica here, and worked together and brought a drone that they either built or bought and modified to run our challenge. And our challenge was rig rescue. Rig rescue was, excuse me, an oil rig that was in disaster. And you had to fly a drone out to it to do specific things like fire suppression, data box retrieval, inspection, life-saving, and other things. And we created this huge course inside of SUNY Polytechnic's gymnasium for which people would earn points for flying their drones and doing specific tasks in our course.
Cool.
Come on. That is awesomeness, if I think so.
Yeah.
And you can't say it's not, because we had old people, young people, and even younger and even older people doing this. And it was great because there were people working together, fixing a problem, working on a problem that involved drones, real world application. Wow. This year, our second year, we're taking it a page out of Poor Unfortunate California's book with Forest Fury. Forest Fury is going to be a simulation of a mudslide and forest fire disaster, for which drones will have to be deployed to give search and rescue effort help, deploy packs and such to firefighters on the ground, identify people possibly buried in mudslide with certain. Right now we're working on putting Arduino and Raspberry Pi kind of stuff on drones and mapping it out for contestants to say, hey, these are the sensors that we're needing you to put on your drone to fly our course, because one of the ideas is we're gonna hide these people, and the drone will have to come over and through infrared or other means identify that there's a person there or that that's a target that needs to be inspected. So that's what we're doing with CNY Drones, and I keep plugging us because we are a nonprofit, but this is a hub that I want to create here, but I want to use you guys to help me proliferate it. You know, I mean, and
Cool.
and fingers crossed, there's some more big stuff happening here in the area. That's why I asked you, Roger, the other day if you could leave town, and you can.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to get more info from you, and so I can read it off during the live streams and all that. You know.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how we're gonna do that, but you can send me an email.
Well, if I can shamelessly plug it, anybody in here, go on to www.cnydrones.org.
Say it again. Oh, type it in.
Oh, yeah.
Type it in.
Oh yeah, please.
Hey, we got this thing called technology.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I have my pen. I'm not even looking at. Yeah, sorry. So guys, one thing I want to tell you, if someone puts a link in here, and you don't want to have to go back through everything to find it, just hit screen print, and it'll print whatever they are putting in.
There it is, CNY Drones, www.org.
Okay.
For whatever reason, it wouldn't let me put the website in. So CNY Drones is what you got.
Because you don't have a wrench.
Oh, through Val. Yeah, I don't.
You see how I am?
Come on, Val, you're dropping the wrench on me here.
I am dropping you. I'm dropping you on the wrench. Try that again. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I blame Kim.
It's cool.
I do too. There we go.
Leonard,
Oh, darn it, and I put it in wrong. It's drones. Gosh darn it, www.
just do it again. Leonard's asking a question. Is this Canada or the U.S.?
No, this is the U.S., the United States, and I'm in central New York.
Yeah.
I know, I forgot. I thought he had a wrench.
It's all right.
Oh my gosh.
No problem.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife got me there. There we go. www.cnydrones.org.
Is that your wife? Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, she's checking us out from her phone there.
Hi.
Probably my little girl is watching too.
Lewis, anytime you're on the channel, you can drop that in anytime.
Yeah, anytime you drop
okay.
the link in.
I see, and that's another thing too. I don't want to step on your guys' toes, but at the same time,
No. We're here for the info. We're here to help the people out. We're here for the info. It's a community, so.
That's what I'm so excited for you guys about is you guys do this, and I couldn't believe the support that I got when I signed on. My buddy Aaron, I don't know if he's still in here. Aaron is how you pronounce his name.
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron.
It's a joke. It's from a Key and Peele skit, a TV show about a substitute teacher. It's hilarious. You should watch it sometime. But anyways, he said, "Yeah, you got to check this Canadian drone network out." And I said, "What's this?" So I signed on, and within a couple of minutes, Roger says, "Oh, Louis P. Floyd, he's got great content, and please subscribe. Support him." Back in the day, and I was like, "Okay, well, people are starting to support me." And then what I was loving was this, holy crow. People are actually commenting on my videos now. Okay, all right. So I started getting comments. So I was like, I don't care if it's good flying, bad flying, or you're an idiot. I don't care. I just wanted the interaction to start happening. So I was like, all right, cool.
Would like you to tell us about the recent drone find.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is what I was talking with Val before we signed on, and this is what's crazy me about. I don't know if I want a lot of people to sub to me, because then I'll be working too much. My friend Aaron, Aaron FPV, go check his channel out. He's a great pilot too. He called me yesterday and said, "I found your drone, I think." It's like, what? What do you mean you found my drone? Well, what did it have on it? I was like, dude, that was 2 years ago. Well, what kind of battery did it have on it? He says, I don't know. He goes, well, did it have like an E-sheen? I go, oh, yeah, it did. It had an E-sheen. That's the reason why I lost the darn thing, is because I had a brand new Mobius on it. It was a QAVR, a $110 frame, a racer frame with a one of my older versions of controllers, a Gröppner. I don't know if anybody uses the Gröppner system instead of Spectrum, or instead of Tyrannus, there's Gröppner. So I had this Gröppner set up. Flight test showed me how to do it. All right, so I'm flying this thing around, and the eSheen battery putzes out on me. I have a battery checker on it. It goes beep, beep, and it's gone. So my buddy Aaron calls me yesterday, as I said, and goes, I think I found it. I lost this quad 2 years ago in the Erie Canal. Okay? I'm a newbie. My first racing drone. I just bought 2 Mobiuses, and by the way, if you're getting into this hobby, anytime you buy anything, buy 2 of them. Because you break one and then you put the extra one on. So I bought 2 Mobiuses and I put it on, and I was just up at my one park flying and having fun, and I had just started doing acro, starting to do flips. My tune on the quad was horrible. I would do a flip and it would flop all over the place. But I was excited. I was like, gosh, this is great video. Go to the canal, and I'm gonna fly, and I'm gonna go around the canal. It's sunset. Got this beautiful view of the canal. I'm flying around. Got my new Mobius on. Got my new battery on. There's a fisherman there, so I'm like, okay, I hope I'm not freaking him out. Beep, 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 beep. What? Static. Of course, the E-Flight battery was crappy. I didn't check it before. Pro tip, check your batteries when they're new, because one of the cells might be bad. It just completely kaput on me. And of course, I was over the water. I rip my goggles off, go flying over to the side of the canal, and the fisherman's there. And he goes, boy, that was awesome. That was great. That thing was flying around all over the place. Well, until it went into the water. Yeah, that was great, buddy. Where did it go? Right there? Yeah, right there. Thanks. Tears, just feeling like, oh my God, I just lost $1,000. I just lost $1,000. So I come back home, I'm pissed. My wife thinks I killed somebody with it. What did you do? I was mad. What did you? I lost it. What do you mean? You lost the drone? Come on, Jesus. All right, fine. But it hurt so much that I lost that drone that I built that thing. I flew that thing. I was getting good at that thing, and I lost that thing. 2 years later, Aaron calls me and says, hey, I think I found your drone. So the connection, and another great thing about FPV community is Aaron refurbished a racing drone and sold it to a local person here in Utica. This said local person was on the canal the other day fishing on his kayak, and he pulls what he thinks is a stick out of the canal, and it's this zebra mussel encrusted drone. Now, because we're in an area of a bunch of drones and stuff, people are starting to learn about drones and this and that. But this guy didn't know anything about drones except for this other guy, Aaron, who sold him his first drone. So he calls Aaron back and says, hey, Aaron, I found this in connections, and now I have my drone back again that's encrusted in zebra mussels. We had fun last night, Aaron and I. I don't know if he's still on the feed. Aaron, if you're still on the feed, send a link up. Aaron. I don't know if he's still on, but we put this on on Facebook, and I put it in like beta flight forums, a couple of multi-GP racing chapters that I know about, and flight test fans and all this. I couldn't stop replying to all of like, oh my God, look at that thing, blah, blah, this is like, even to the point where like a high profile, Mr. Steele actually reacted to my encrusted drone. People are saying stuff like, oh, that must have been SpongeBob's, drone when he flew Spectrum and fail-safed. It's like, are you kidding me? Oh, that's Davy Jones' drone. You know, like I said, my wife said, why don't you fix it up and send it up and rename it the Flying Dutchman? You know, so after and it was just like it was ridiculous, and it was just so much fun. And I texted Aaron, and oh, Michelle just said he left. I'll have to put the picture of it up. I'll share it in a second. But he was just like, I got to take a break. And I said, texted him back, and I said, I'm afraid to take a break because I'm going to get behind. You know, it just kept going on and on. And I was like, geez, if I had put anything else, and then for whatever reason, in some of the groups, I became like, I got a little coffee cup saying that I was an influencer or something like this. And I was like, okay, all right, great. So, but that was fun. And it was exciting because of a picture of a drone.
Nice.
You know, and I don't know, maybe it'll become drone folklore one day. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. It wrecked my Facebook page, I'll tell you, because I couldn't stop. It was ridiculous. Oh, let's see here.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible.
I lost SEMA a year ago. For a year. Yeah, and I took the top off and washed it out with hot water from the hose from the sink. Got all the bugs out of it and the dead worms and stuff. Put a hair dryer to it. Stuck the lid back on and put a battery and flew it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, well, yeah, tons of people were saying, oh, this will buff out, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, hit that like button, please. Show support.
Yeah, sure, it'll buff out.
Yeah,
let me see.
I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button, who's ever in here. It's kind of nice. Lets me know that you like the video that we're doing. So if you want to do, if you feel like subscribing, and you haven't subscribed yet to Louis P. Floyd, he's going to put something in the chat right now. He's going to say something so that you can go ahead and just hit and go ahead and subscribe to him. He has some great content, and I don't say that lightly.
Well, I thank you. I'm working hard to do that. Oh, Aaron is back. Car fixed, friend saved. Good for you, man. I just told him the zebra mussel drone story.
Yeah.
Yeah, please look. If you can support what I'm doing, and I like your channel, I'll support you too. But don't support me and just give me false numbers. I don't want that. I don't need that. But if you're serious about having some fun and watching some goofball like me fly around, go ahead. I'm excited to make this hobby work for everybody, and I'm excited to teach and educate people about everything about it. And I like doing music with it, and I like it. Just all wrapped into a nice, neat little bow, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, so I love it. I think it's really good what you do. I just really like it. So can you put a comment in here so they can easily find you?
Oh yeah. So if you look me up, I'm pretty much this everywhere. Just do that and you will find me. Louis P. Floyd. You will find me.
Okay, guys.
I'm usually top Google searches too for some reason.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Canadian Drone Network, would you please put something in so that people can also find you? And Roger, if you have Kim's, a link to Kim's, that might be kind of awesome also. So I think we probably have everyone anyway, but it's kind of nice. So he would like to know, J. Ray, when are you flying next?
As soon as I get some sun and a couple of free minutes.
Nice.
There is that clam-encrusted quad. It's in my Google Drive, so people should be able to see the craziness.
It says here I need permission.
Oh no. Okay, so I gotta change the permission to public. Save should work now.
Okay, it's working.
Oh my God.
Shit.
I'm going, oh.
One LED still worked, and the SD card in the Mobius still has video on it.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Of course, it doesn't have of the crash video because that was corrupted when it, it didn't save that bit. But all the other stuff, it saved.
Oh my God.
Oh, guys, you need to click on that. Hey, Heath, darling. Nice seeing you.
So what Aaron and I are going to try and do is everybody wants to see a video of us rebuilding it. So I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we're going to try and rebuild the darn thing.
I think you're going to need a chisel.
We're going to need something. Somebody said put lacquer on it and put it as a trophy. Quad mods. This one Facebook group wants to buy it for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, basically, it's finished anyways, right?
Yeah, it's finished.
So, I mean, you may as well leave it intact and just preserve it with the zebra muscles on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff we can do with it. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a video with it, whatever we do. I hope we don't.
Awesome seeing that. Well, it's not nice seeing that, but I've never.
I have lost 2 other quads in my life, and one like multiple GoPros. I've lost a lot of them. It's unfortunate, but one of my GoPros came back to me. My father-in-law, I was flying at Christmas time. It was either New Year's Eve or Christmas, and I was showing my brother-in-law. We were going outside, just out in the house, by the house. I was flying. I got great video of aerial, the city and stuff at Christmas time and snow. I love flying at wintertime. It's great. But I lost my GoPro. Wouldn't you know it? He comes over, what was it, the beginning of the summer, has a paper bag and hands it to me. I was like, what the heck is this? And I go, oh my God. His neighbor found it while he was weed whacking. It fell off of my drone at one point. I went home crying that night too. My GoPro. So I'm hopeful now that the other 2 quads that I've lost, because they weren't as bad as in a freaking canal. Okay, I was hopeful that I was resigned to 200-300 years later. I hope they're able to pull that out at some archaeological site.
Yeah.
And say, what is this? Oh, this is entertainment back in the day. Oh, I wonder if we still have the ability to read the data off. That's the only thing that let me sleep at night, other than my wife saying, stop it.
It's true.
But what else could you do? I had fun until I lost it.
Oh my gosh, how funny. But how many drones have you built?
I've stopped counting, but I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 150.
Wow.
Now, I also build tiny whoop drones, and I've built a lot of little ones for my classes and my kids at school, and they've built with me. I've bought too much equipment and bought and broke a lot of drones, and I just keep building, and it's become an obsession. It's almost dangerous, and I'm trying to get a support group to help. But it's really consumed. Yeah. Michelle said a few more words too. My wife. I don't know. I it's good and it's bad. It's an obsession. Mm-hmm. It's a good bad obsession, but it's so much damn fun and makes you shake, gives you that adrenaline rush. You're always jonesing for it. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just supported your channel there. I just supported your wife's channel, Michelle's channel.
Oh, okay.
Support your channel.
She's going to get a bunch of subscribers. She goes like, what am I going to do with these people, Paul? You know what? I'll give you my B-roll. How about that, Michelle?
We always support the people that are attached to our drone flyers. We always do. Hey, helicopter.
But see, that's cool too, because again, that's that peripheral that I'm always looking at. Like if you look at DRL, Drone Racing League, there's people like us, better pilots than me, flying for fun. And look at the money that's being generated and the jobs in the peripheral of those knuckleheads flying the drones. You've got production, you've got venue, you've got food for people to eat, you've got caterers, you've got people to fix the drones, people to build the drones, people to buy the parts from the, and that is economy and jobs.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hopeful for in our area, and what I'm trying to push and get people hooked into FPV. And then obviously, and I keep saying this, have a forum for discussion about drones and what are we going to do with these things. Race them, yes. Freestyle, yes. But what else can we do? What else can we do? Do we want them for security? Do we want them for agriculture? Do we want them for search and rescue? Do we want them to be dangerous?
No. Not
dangerous, no. Heath just came on and said, hi, I'm the RC hunter and I'm addicted to drones. Support group for that, Heath.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hi, helicopter.
Yeah, start televising racing.
Yeah, well, okay, so ESPN is a couple days from now. ESPN2 will be having the first of the DRL, Drone Racing League, with some of my favorite pilots, Nurk, Wild Willie, Johnny FPV, Jet. These guys are great videographers, filmmakers. Nurk is a film producer, I guess, and his part is in film production, and his idea is to figure out how to use drones in cinematography and in big budget movies. It's just so fascinating for what a drone pilot is, but what they bring to piloting a drone. I found a lot of people, like I'm a band teacher. I'm a music teacher. And I was corresponding with another gentleman who runs a multi-GP chapter, which I also run a multi-GP chapter through CNY Drones, where we race drones. And you sign up through multi-GP, and it's like back in the day of like Motor X and motocross and dirt biking and BMXing, where you would have a chapter of guys and gals that would race their thing. And you would race against other chapters and so on and so forth. Well, that's like that now with multi-GP and drone racing. And this guy that lives in Skinny Atlas, I started talking with because of drones and such. And I find out he's a music teacher too. And a couple of other people that I know, they're music teachers, or they're into music heavily. A lot of the high-end FPV guys like Schizo, music. Ledrib, very artsy, but he likes art and very, left brain kind of person. And that's fascinating to me because I think that art and music and flying FPV all are very related and relatable in the skill level that you need to attain your art. It's that practice time, it's that stick time, it's that putting that saxophone in your face and blowing the newest tune and figuring out how to get to it, do it better or do it differently. And that's another uniqueness about flying drones, racing or freestyle. You get into that mindset of how fast can I go? How far can I push my limit? Because, man, I'm flying fast in that drone. And it's also scale speed. So if I'm going 50, 60 miles an hour in real time, it feels like 300-400 miles an hour in my view. And that reaction time is just, wow, I missed that. I didn't hit that. I got around that. And that is a lot about what music is too. Being in that moment, but not thinking too much about it and kind of having that out-of-body experience and just being skillful at it and then enjoying the video after. Because that's what gets me off too about it is I'll do a great flight, or go out for a session and think about and try and do, and I'm not in the zone, but I think I am, and I come home and the video is crap. It's like, man, I searched around looking to do a trick for too long. My flow wasn't there. And then I come home thinking, damn, I had batteries blowing up on me. I wrecked this. And it's some of my greatest flight footage because I was in the flow. I wasn't thinking about trying to do an inverted yaw spin because I want to do an inverted yaw spin. It just happened. I did a great inverted yaw spin, and then I did this, and then, wow. And that's magical too for me, because after I fly it, I pop the GoPro out, put the video in, and I'm like flying again. It's all new again. I was like, wow, that's cool. I did that. How can I edit? And then, to be more artistic about it, now you grab that video and you find a cool tune that you like and you put it to that video. And now you're enjoying a great song that you like, either that I composed because I composed some of my own music, or it's a great tune because, you know, that's my band, that's my jam, that's the cool thing, that's awesome. And now it's on my video too. Like, I like putting like that golf video where I put the handle aria to the almost spiritual one. That's the only tune that could have worked for that video, because I felt spiritual in that moment. It was just like, it's me, nature, and I'm flying through it. Yeah. And that's it, you know? And then I was able to relive that experience through that video again, over and over again. And that's what's magical. That's what's cool.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me coming back, I guess.
That's what I find appealing.
Yeah.
When you're watching somebody FPVing and stuff like that, and you see their creation.
Yeah, it's just so cool to know, and then it's fun to say, wow, he pulled that off. How do you do that? You know, and it's that one-upsmanship that pushes the hobby, that pushes the whole art of it too. Because I forget to talk about the art of building these creatures too. There's some beautiful work being done in just building the darn things, in building it clean, in building it, putting all those wires in the right spot, not having any mess, not having anything to worry about, and seeing through it. That's a stacked board, baby. That's an all-in-one with you know, and it looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. You know, and it's a pride thing too. And then I'm going to go and run at 90 miles an hour into a wall and fix it again and cry about it, but fix it again. But, you know, and two, one of the cool things is and there are a lot of haters about certain pilots or whatever, but Mr. Steele does it for me. A lot of people don't like his personality. I like it because it's an on-screen personality, I'm sure, and he just rubs people wrong, and he's cocky, and but he's Mr. Steele. He's the best damn pilot out there. I don't care what you say. He's the guy that made you do what you're doing, and he did it first, and he did it better, and he's gonna. So one of the cool things is he had glorious, meticulous build videos where all you do is sit there and watch him build a drone. And it was amazing. I learned a ton of stuff from it. Just small little Pro Tool techniques, like how to protect your antennas the best way without them getting chipped off. How to mount a VTX, you know, in a great spot without losing it and not breaking it all the time. And that was an art in itself. And then of course he puts my man Beethoven behind it, or Bach, or something cool and unique like that, where kids are coming to him, young people, and saying, what is this music? Well, wait a minute. Now they're curious about music too, and why he's picking what he's picking to play behind his tracks. And they have another echelon of drone. Oh, maybe they like Beethoven now because Mr. Steele put it to a video that, you know, that's the craziness that I like about it, is there's just so much direction to go in. And it's not limited to anything, but it's all centered around these stupid flying robots.
Yeah. The last video I saw Mr. Steele do was put a sticker on what was that, a water tower or something?
Well, one of them, he was probably in Germany or whatever, but yeah, one of the things he did is he wanted to be the first dude to go up to a building and put a Rotor Riot sticker on an office building so that some knucklehead in the office building says, "What the heck is that?" And it's a Rotor Riot sticker on a building 20 stories up.
Yeah.
Huh? How did that get there? And he did it. He did it.
It's incredible.
Yeah. He's,
talent. I like the video he did when he was doing the car drifting.
Isn't that have you looked at any of his fixed wing Joel Knoll videos where he's flying by these beautiful scale RC fixed wing bi-wing planes, and they're doing their acrobatics and they're flipping and flopping and blowing the smoke off. Well, he's flying around them and making beautiful footage and video, and oh my, just like, it's gorgeous. It's eye candy. And that's a video that I've watched over and over and over again. It's like a good tune. It's like, man, I want to watch that Steel video again. Dial it up. Look at the Radioactive video again. Oh man, dial it up. And that's become my entertainment now. I don't watch TV much anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it seemed like us. We got the TV taken out, all the channels and everything. I just kept 2 channels.
Nothing to watch. Yeah, I watch the History Channel and my local news.
That's it. The news and Star Trek.
There's another. I'm sure that a lot of people in the community love Star Trek too. I'm a huge Trekkie. One of the cool things that I saw that was through a Facebook group or whatever, Transformers. Okay, you know the cartoon Transformers.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was a kid in the '80s, I watched Optimus Prime and the Transformers. Right, that cartoon. And that became a thing and whatnot, and it merged into these other Transformer-like cartoons. And this one Transformer cartoon that I watched when I was a younger person, just starting out in my career as a school teacher, I still love cartoons. SpongeBob is one of my favorite shows. I watched this show called Beast Wars, and it was a take on Transformers, but with these robots on another planet, whatnot. Somebody found, and I'll wrap up my point here, somebody found video of the first FPV. It was a sequence in the cartoon where one of the character robots had a little drone that popped off of his wrist and flew out for surveillance. And then you saw, because of the way that they directed it and put it into you watching it, the little drone popped off of the robot's wrist and flew out. And then the next thing you saw was these goggles coming down over the Transformer, and he was flying FPV. And that was like in the late 80s, early 90s-ish show or something like that. But it was like, that's FPV. That was in a cartoon, and of course, everybody blew up on it. It was like, I remember that show. I remember this, and it was so unique. And now, my little girl just called me over the other day. I forget what. Oh, it was a Disney show, Cricket Green. The new show Cricket Green had a drone in it, and it had a camera on it. And it looked like a tiny whoop flying around, and the gag is this drone was going to come, and if he saw you, he was going to hack you and make your digital life horrible. Well, Cricket Green is this character from the country, and he didn't have any internet or device or whatever, so whatever. But it's just becoming pervasive that drones are, that's starting to creep in like that.
Yeah, because it was one of the first cartoons that were sort of like, because it wasn't out then. Yeah. So that was the leap. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Aaron says 1940s was the first FPV, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Army was doing it.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know why we call these things drones?
Well, actually, they're quads.
They are.
Yeah. If you talk to Merch, he gets very sad when we call them drones.
I know, me too. I call them quadcopters. Yeah. But the connotation is stuck. Drones.
Yeah.
They're called drones because back in the day, when we were starting to fly airplanes. World War I was just ending. World War II, obviously on the horizon. Planes were a thing.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, oh, well, we got to figure out how we're going to defend against these planes. So United States and Great Britain would fly these double-winged planes called Queen Bees. And this is a thumbnail sketch, and I'm sure I'm wrong on some parts, but the idea is these biplanes called Queen Bees, you couldn't put a guy in and then shoot at it. So they did an RC link, good old Tesla, thank you, Nikola. They RC linked it, and they started flying, and there was these big, huge boxes that they would fly these planes from, and that would be the target practice. Now, they were too big and too expensive to keep blowing these damn things out of the sky, so they made smaller ones. And because the big one was called the Queen Bee, and we know apiary or whatever it's called, beekeeping, right? What are all the other little bees called? Drones.
Yeah.
So they called the small thing a drone. And that's how the derivation of drones got. Now, when the military started flying the UAV drones, because those were the things that they were shooting down that they co-opted for. Now somebody can fly them and do some damage with it or do surveillance with it.
Yeah.
And the name just kept going on and on.
Yeah.
So now fixed wings are drones. They're unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or more specifically, SUAVs, small unmanned aerial vehicles. Yeah. So that's why, fixed wing pilots should be happy with us drone people, because we're hopefully not ruining the hobby, but hopefully going to help support the hobby and stop it from being taken away.
Yeah.
So Alvin just let me know that he's going on late tonight. He's going to be not on for another 10 to 15 minutes. So if we wanted to go a little bit over, we could. Do you guys want to go a little over?
I'm good if you are. I can talk about drones all day.
I can see her and listen.
And we all need to give Tim some support, because he sent his away to be fixed, so he doesn't have anything to FPV right now. And so he needs a lot of love and support.
Here, I'll give you a little bit of eye candy, okay? I'll give you a shot at what my obsession is. Are we ready? So I did live down in the basement with all of this stuff. I won't show you my mad lab, but my my FPV has kind of crept up into my my living quarters here. And I have a whole, I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be a little bit dark, but I have a whole shelf. 1, 2, 3 of quite a few quads.
Nice.
The smaller ones up here.
Yep.
Micros.
Ooh.
Oh. Dude.
Some more micros.
Nice one.
Very nice.
Then the good old Tiny Whoop. Tiny Whoop. This one's a little broken. I gotta fix. He doesn't work very well. And then we got the good old Umagod, which is a certain type of frame, a freestyle frame that I built.
Nice.
Great machine. Another type, a 3-inch quad. This is an awesome quad too. Hey, let's go there.
Very nice.
And they've got LEDs on them and such. So right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 working quads. And that's amazing, because there was a time when I couldn't get 2 to work at the same time.
Wow.
And I'll show you my pride. This is my pride of the whole thing. This is my Versacopter. This is the first drone I built. But I didn't build this particular one. My daughter built this particular one.
Damn.
And I taught her how to solder and some component stuff. And we went down in the cellar and came back up with this beauty right here.
Wow.
She's flown it. She's not as into it as Daddy is, but she knows about drones, and she can fly one. And she's also built one.
That's beautiful.
And that's one of the things that I like to talk about is there's not enough women in FPV. There's not enough ladies in this. And I want to figure out why that is and hopefully correct it. Because I have had in my small classes in my 4th grade, last year I was really inundated with doing drones. But I had 2 sections of 4th grade, 2 sections of 5th grade, 2 sections of 6th grade, for which I taught FPV drones. Believe that. And the girls were better pilots.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's
They
all.
were. They took to it. They took to it. And you'll see a lot of guys are the ones that are doing this. Yeah, they're the ones that are doing this. But I think we've got an untapped market with the ladies because we need more people with differentiated thinking, and the ladies have it.
Mm-hmm.
And who cares? As long as you're a good drone pilot and you don't crash, or if you do crash and you know how to fix, it's all the fun. It's all the fun.
Yeah. Like Megan Michaels. You know Megan Michaels?
Yep.
She does quite well.
Yes, she does. She does. And who's the new young lady? The French
Alexandra
girl.
Carrier.
Okay, I don't know what the hell she's saying.
Yeah, I know she's French. Yeah.
But I'm giving her channel a try. I'm trying to watch, because I don't want. I could do the Google Translate thing, but if she starts doing flying and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, one thing I've noticed being a female within this drone area is that I noticed that people are a lot more prone to subscribe to the men who fly drones than sometimes to the women. I have noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can be somewhat, it isn't for me discouraging. I just keep coming on because I'm hard-headed like that. But I would think that would be a little bit daunting for some of the women who are trying to make that work for them.
Right.
Emerge.
No, Aaron's shouting out at me, Orani girl or Orny girl. I don't know how to exactly say it. She's Australian. She travels in the circle with Snake FPV and Mr. Steele, and they have a company called Ethics. She's a great pilot. There's another girl from Ireland, and I don't know her name. She's a really good pilot too. I forget her name, darn it.
There's Ava.
Aaron, help me out if you know. Who's the girl from Ireland? Can't think of her name. I can't find her right now either.
There's a bunch of new female pilots that have come out, and they're really good.
So the more the merrier. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
In this, and I think that
girl.
Yeah, Oni girl. Yeah.
Okay.
She has an accent too when she says her name, so I still mispronounce it.
There's Zoe.
Oh my God, Zoe FPV. Okay, so Zoe FPV. Does anybody know about Zoe FPV in here? If you guys don't, check her out. Okay, so Zoe FPV is a phenomenal pilot, and she's pushing this thing called 3D FPV, where the drone flies inverted and you have a 3D access as well. So what happens is on your sticks, both of your sticks are in the middle. So you have on the upper half throttle and on the lower half throttle. So you can fly inverted.
Wow.
And some of her videos, like she'll fly and then flip upside down and go right down to the ground and then pop up and then go back down to the ground. And you know that can't be possible with a regular drone. Well, it's a 3D drone. And it's more eye candy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it, X class. Calm down, Aaron. Now, the next thing is that she's really pushing is X class. X class is these huge drones that are flown, and you can actually see them. Where my problem, and I'm trying to figure this out too, is FPV is only interesting to the people who are watching the FPV, unless you can get everybody into the feed, watching the feed, and make it very fast and cool. Otherwise, seeing 5-inch drones with very little LEDs go 90 miles an hour ain't much fun to watch unless you crash or whatever. X-Class, however, brings the visual to the real world. These things are honking big machines flying at 50 and 60 miles an hour or faster, and they make a hell of a sound, and they usually race them on dirt tracks because those are the people that like it. Loud and obnoxious things. Wow. And that's becoming a thing. And she's a lady who has pushed this hobby to, great heights, no pun intended. And that's phenomenal. We need more people like her to do that.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. I want to go to one so that I can hear it,
Yeah.
I like Fly Dad so I can crash. It's a many different ways.
And I'm new to all this too. I keep ignoring the chat too, and I keep looking. I was like, oh man, people are asking me questions and I'm not answering. I'm sorry, guys. I like doing this, but I'm not used to this.
Right.
We got the pros on the other side, like Val and Kim and Roger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're pros, all right. Roger and Kim.
Yeah, right.
Lewis, we'll have to try it this more often.
What's that?
We'll have to do this more often.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to co-opt you guys, but I recognize that you guys have a forum, and I want that. And as I said up front with Val, my whole idea in getting together with you guys is to push my agenda, which is CNY drones, which is pipeline for education and a discourse about drones other than FPV, but that's how we're going to hook everybody in.
Yeah, that's good.
So
good.
If we can keep that conversation going and relevant in this time, we're gonna be more successful in keeping our Part 333 and keeping our hobby alive and relevant and vibrant.
Yeah.
There's people out there are actually watching these channels.
Yeah, and I know that because there's the subscribers to me in recent are commenting. And I've never had that before. I have never had comments on my channel. My friends watch it, and my friends say, hey, on YouTube or in person or on the phone, hey, that was a cool video. All right, I'm good. All right, hey, I understand it's not your cup of tea, and I'm going to not try and be that forceful about it, but there are a whole bunch of other people that I want to hit and do, do this with and intrigue and be somebody that hopefully moves the hobby in the right direction and becomes somebody that people look to for encouragement and direction. I kind of want to be that person, cautiously.
Right. I think,
or at least one of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only one out here that is gaga about drones. Obviously, we got a lot of people in the chat. 1,000 people subscribe to you, Val. And you do a little bit of drones. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I do have a personal life, but I'm one of those where I've grown up through the digital age, and I'm weary. I'm very weary about this interaction too. But if I'm going to do this, I got to do this. I don't do Facebook for me or my friends. I do Facebook for drones. I interact that way, and sometimes some of my personal life crops up into my Facebook feed, but Facebook is my primarily drones, connections, networking, and such.
Well, myself, I don't have Facebook at all. I don't have Twitter or nothing. I just got YouTube. I'm focused just on YouTube because as it is now, YouTube's taking up all my time almost. So
I know, and see, I know, and that's a crazy thing because, like I said with my friend Aaron. And we posted that picture of the damn quad with the zebra mussels on it. Yeah. We couldn't keep up with everybody trying to, and I'm sure I still have comments that I still want to, retort to.
Oh, for sure.
Say, because it was fun. It was fun doing all those stupid puns and making fun of, Spectrum or whatever. Or one of my great ones was I got my drone back. The return to home button finally worked. That pissed off a lot of DJI guys. But that was, I only mean it in jest,
Yeah, it's okay.
That's pretty cool, though.
Everybody, and my friend Zevi pulls on. He goes, "Boy, all those racing DJI drones that you keep losing, I don't know about you." And it's funny because he knows about drones, my buddy Zevi.
No, I gotta say, the one thing I like about Roger's stuff and what he does well is that we have all the different kind of droners on. We have FPV, we have the people who do the beautiful aerials, and that's kind of their niche. We have people who do it just as a smaller hobby. Some people are so addicted they're putting multiple drones up in the air at the same time. I won't say who. We have so many people coming from all these different places, and that's what I love about Roger's stream, is because it's okay to be wherever you are in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so that's what makes it so fun, you know. I love it because I'm not, yeah, you couldn't even say I'm really good at any part of droning yet. I plan on being, but I'm not yet.
Everybody contributes something, even if it's small, to the hobby.
Exactly. And it's that learning curve that is really steep.
Yeah.
And when I got into this hobby, like I said before, my local hobby shop, I had 4. I don't have 4 of anything. Well,
Right.
Unfortunately, he became irrelevant to me. And that's a shame, because that's a business that lost out, because now he's dying by the fixed wing guys because they're old. Sorry, Roger. And the new guys are coming in with the quadcopters, and he's losing business because of it. And 2 years ago, I was the only crazy mofo flying a quad. And now I know at least 40 people around me wanting to get into this. And it ain't a cheap hobby. It isn't. No. And that's another frustration of mine too, is how much money do I spend on this shit? How far in debt do I go to fly my toy? And that's hard for me to reckon, but I try and reckon it by CNY drones and saying that there's a niche here, there's something here that we can use and do good with, and that kind of is what keeps me motivated and spending my money, I guess. And plus, I'm getting better and I'm not crashing so much. So yeah,
it really helps. That really helps when you're not crashing everything.
Yeah.
If it should by chance, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, that the hobby, the FPV hobby, becomes in jeopardy, it'd be unimaginable how much money would be lost from companies that only deal in that.
Get FPV, Lumineer, Race Day Quads, those big names, they weren't there 2 years ago.
No.
One of the lessons that I taught my students, I'll give you the scenario. I walk into class, I got all my little kids sitting in front of me, and I put up this little FPV racing gate that's neon illuminated. It was 3D printed, had Pyrex or PEX tubing with an LED strip through it, had a little battery. It cost me $12. I bought $80 worth because I wanted to fly me some drones through gates that lit up in neon. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I just spent $80 on this stuff. And then I got to thinking, I was like, all right, they're $12 a gate. 100 foot of PEX tubing is like $30. I only got 12 inches. And I started to part it. The damn thing only cost maybe $4 to make. The big end was the 3D printed little bulb that it all fit into. So the guy who produced it had to buy that 3D printer. That was money up front. But he could have had that. I spent $12 on something that I could have made for $2 or $4. So I bring it into my class and I say, what is this? Oh, that's an FPV gate, Mr. Brown. Yep. I said, this didn't exist 2 years ago. This man's company didn't exist 2 years ago. This company and this product exists because of this drone. Huh. And then we went into the economics of it and how stupid Mr. Brown was to buy a $12 gate for which he could have made for $2. And I said, but wait a minute. I didn't want to make the gate. I wanted to pay the $12 and get my toy quick. That's market. That's niche. That's finding out where things are needed to be built and engineered. Because that guy engineered that tiny whoop gate, and I still use them downstairs. But that's the phenomenal thing that blows my mind of the peripheral of the drone industry, that things 2 years ago didn't exist because that drone couldn't do that. Or that drone didn't even fly yet. So, and that's the pace of the technology that these kids have to understand and do better than us. That, hey, the game today is Fortnite, but in 3 weeks or a couple of months, the new hotness is out, and I don't care about Fortnite. Well, drones are pretty much the same way with firmware, new stuff, the new trends, the hype, this, that, and the other thing. And to keep up with it, it's mind-boggling, but at the same time, it's the technology pace that we set. And if we don't have people thinking in those lines and able to react in real time and develop something and create something that's going to be of monetary value, that's where our economic system is going to fall apart. And it's not just going to be drones, it's going to be everything. 3D printing is a huge paradigm shift. And if people don't say that, man, in 10 years, I could literally click a button and probably in some processing center, like a post office, I could buy a fully printed, the thing that I want, every component the way I want it printed. And the shipping industry is dead because 4 years ago, I could have done that and shipped it from Germany because that's where the company exists, right? Okay, great. It exists in Germany, but now we can 3D print it. I buy that STL file from the company in Germany, and I go down to my local post office and pick up the product. Do you think people are going to be out of work for that? Shipping, management. So if we can't train people to think quick and figure out a way to engineer something to catch a market, there's going to be a lot of joblessness. People got to think faster and more on their feet and use technology to leverage.
So what I'm gonna say here is I think I want everyone to know that Earl RC, that's the channel name, is going on. And Earl, you're using your channel, right? I think he's using his channel because Jim, who does Sinister Dad, is still so knee deep in that move that he's not being able to come on. So Earl RC is coming on. And so I want everyone, we have like 15 viewers right now. It's not huge, but guys, go check out Earl. He's a fun guy. And
I've seen some of it. He's funny.
He's a fun guy. And also on Sunday, this Sunday, we have Merch is coming back and visiting with me again. Love him. Love his Scottish accent. We have Twerky Mars on the 11th. We have Stone Wolf on the 16th, Helicopter on the 18th, Mr. Crowley on the 23rd, and TechCore on the 25th. So we have a lot of people coming on. This is going to be a lot of fun.
You have some scheduling stuff, boy. Oh,
I got it all scheduled out, and I can't tell you how much it means to me to have you guys come on my channel. Let me talk to you. Paul, this has been absolutely fascinating for me.
I had a great time.
To have you on. I hope you got to all the points that I know you wanted to get to.
I don't know. I just talk.
You did a great job.
I got to sometimes monitor myself because I can.
It's okay because it
went a good audience.
I loved it. And I know that Kim is just a big lover of FPV. So I'm sure this was really a happiness space for him. And a lot of our other guys. So let me just say that I am so happy to have you guys on. we're going to go off now. So you guys stay where you are. But guys in the stream, thank you so much. You guys were just phenomenal to be here. I'm sorry we never really got in being able to really talk to everyone as much as I wanted to. But it was just so interesting. I couldn't pull myself away from what we were doing. So
well, hey, I'm glad I was interesting. I hope I didn't bore anybody, and I didn't go off topic, or because I sort of go on tangents sometimes.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, there's a question in the back, Kim, I think.
Louis, we gotta have you back again, man.
Yes, I definitely want to. I want to co-opt you guys. I'm sorry, but I do.
Cool.
I think that this, as without getting too long-winded, the hub is here, and we're going to make that hub bigger, hopefully, and impact a lot of people.
Yeah.
With the goofy toys that we fly, and have a lot of fun, and create that pipeline of jobs for people outside of just flying drones. You know? That is the coolness of what technology can do for us today.
Yeah, no problem, Louis. We'll do our best to help you out and help out everybody else. We're gonna try everything.
Yeah, this was great, and so just for my friend John. You. This is my Roger sock puppet.
Where's your Kim? Isn't there going to be a Kim one? I heard you say this morning.
Am very cute Kim one. It's coming.
This is almost a family show. I can't show the Kim one again.
Okay, guys. I love all of you. And we'll come back and we'll do another one with Paul. He's so interesting.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
And I just have to tell you, I'm on the hunt for Plummet. So know that I want you on. So I'm going to start telling everyone. And Helicopter, all you guys, love you. Bob, love you. Mo, Alvin, don't forget he's on. You want to go visit. Okay, bye, y'all.